it's good to get feedback, from time to time, get real feedback like we are doing and know whether we are on track. And then if we are not, areas where we need to improve or talk about anything, then we go ahead and we do it. So yes, it's another class again today, and I'm happy to be in your midst. I miss the class sometimes though, even though I have to talk and talk and talk, but yeah, so I'm happy to have you back. I hope that we're able to have our class next Saturday as well. In the meantime, let's deal with what we have today. My name is Joy Agagwu, and I'm a registered nurse, registered midwife in Nigeria, a registered nurse in the UK, and I currently work with the NHS as a band 5 nurse. I'm on my way to becoming a band 6 by God's grace very, very soon. I've been able to go through the journey of relocation from Nigeria. I was able to write and pass academic IELTS. Actually, I wrote UKVI and I was able to make my band at a first sitting. I had some assistance from a tutor and I was able to work on my own as well most of the time. And God helping me, I sat for the exams on the 13th of December in 2018 and I passed the exam. It was my New Year gift. The result came out on the 2nd of January in 2019 on a Wednesday precisely. I could remember. You can't forget such things. Got the result, was in church to testify, and the journey started like play, like joke. And on the 3rd of July 2019, 6 months and a day after I got my result, I was able to leave the shores of Nigeria and relocated to the United Kingdom, where I had lessons for my OSCE, and the trust registered me, arranged lectures for us, and I sat for the OSCE exam at one sitting and I was able to pass. I did my OSCE on the 12th of August, a month and a few days after I came to the United Kingdom, and I got my PIN the next day. So ever since then, I've been working. And just before this class will start, I want to talk to somebody. I want to encourage you. I want to tell you that it's not stories. We have people who have gone through this process. I know people who have written IELTS 3, 4 times. Somebody just passed IELTS after 4 attempts. The fifth attempt, she made it. This is just to tell you that if you have a dream and you are sure that you have your dream, I don't think any price is too much for you to pay for that dream. It's not a good thing for somebody to keep writing exams over and over, but for you to have that courage to register again, to spend that money, to spend that hour, burn your midnight candles, with all the unfavorable conditions in the African countries, especially in Nigeria, where many of us are, it means that you need to be really determined and you need to be really sure of what you want to do. I hail you if you have written IELTS once and you didn't make it, twice, you didn't make it thrice, and it's like you have given up on writing IELTS. The truth is, if you still have that dream of relocation, writing IELTS still remains your number one assignment. Until you are able to pass IELTS, you have not started yet. Don't go ahead to book for CBT. Don't go and do verification. Make sure you have passed your IELTS first. And how do you pass IELTS? Gather all the materials you can gather. Go online, download Cambridge 12, 13, 14, 15. They are recent ones you can use. Get materials, attend lectures, do it over and over. Don't just attend lectures and read materials and think that you are okay. You need to practice. From your last assignment, I could see that many of us are just following the class, and because you've not been practicing, you think you know it, but you don't. That's the simple truth. Any teacher that does not tell her students or his students the truth is not doing them any good. The truth is, I had high hopes, I had like high expectations for some of you in this class that have been here. You've answered questions and all. But when it was time for you to write, somehow you fumbled, somehow. And that's how it happens in the exams. You think you already know it. You think I studied enough. You think, is it not this one? Before you know it, you write something and you're making a mistake. To this end, I must express myself, and then we will take a few minutes to go through the last work that we did, the last writing tax 1 assignment that we did. I'll make a few corrections on where we really need to improve on. If you are not clear, like I advised many of us, please go back to the YouTube channel, go through writing tax 1 videos that are on there. If you have any questions, ask under those videos. We'll get the notification. I will definitely have time. I'll create time, okay, to answer you. All right. The thing is, sometimes your messages will come up, and because I'm working, it's not like I'm doing IELTS full time. Because I'm working, I may not answer you on time, may not respond to you on time. So the onus has fallen on you for you to be patient. You know, I had a patient in the hospital recently who I was supposed to do something for, and he was so much in a hurry, and I told him, I said, be patient. That's why you are a patient in the hospital. You need to be patient. And the guy was like, oh, you mean I should be? I said, yeah, you need to be patient because you are a patient. You're not just a patient in the hospital, but you need to be patient because many things you want to do for yourself, you can't do for yourself. Someone else has to do it, and so you need to be patient. You need to give me time. So I'm telling all of us that you need to be patient with us. Don't say no, Joy. They say, that's how they say they will be answering, they will be responding, but I've been sending messages and they are not responding. If I tell you many of my personal mails that I have not responded to, you won't believe it. I was to get a delivery today and they sent me a mail for me to accept something. I saw the mail about the delivery and I didn't even remember. It was about 2-3 minutes to the mail, to the time of delivery, that I was able to accept. And before you know it, because everything is like that, your doorstep and all, the delivery came and I was able to get what I wanted. So what am I saying? It's not all the time that we'll have all the time, but I want to tell you that definitely if you are patient with us in this journey of IELTS, you will come out victorious at the end of the day. Having said all of the stories and everything, the last task that I gave in class is a bar chart. And I remember before I gave that task, I did tell us, or I showed us, I read out to us the things that I expect of us. I even went out of my way to talk about that task, like I solved it orally, and I expected you to write it down. But many of us still went ahead and were making mistakes. I have seen so many mistakes in the overall statement. Your overall statement, over and over again in this class, we are supposed to have come to an agreement that an overall statement is an overall statement. In your overall statement, you will have the paraphrased question prompt and what you can see at a glance, like a conclusion that you draw. I told you that's one major difference between writing tax 1 and writing tax 2. Your overall statement is like a conclusion that you are bringing already from the beginning of your write-up. You've seen the map, you've seen the, why am I saying map? You've seen the task, you've seen the diagram, and the divorce rate in Sweden or in Finland, one of them is more, the other is less, okay? Over in the graph, we could see that all of them fluctuated at one point or the other. And then you just go ahead and you make a conclusion. You draw a conclusion before you even start the work, because it is something that you can see at a glance. Looking at this, which one has the highest number? Which one has the lowest number? Which one started off very well? Which one started off very badly and ended well or still ended badly? So if you have a look at that graph, you could see that in one country, the divorce rate was higher than the other. Let me see if I can find that, that particular assignment so that we will, I'll be talking, I'll not be talking Jack. Okay, so yes, here it is. High rate was in, it was higher altogether, altogether overall thing that I can draw from this map or from this bar graph is that the divorce rate in Sweden was higher than in Finland. It was higher in 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 Sweden than in Finland. So if you are writing an overall statement for me, why will you go and give me all the stories in an overall statement? Number one. Number two, you are writing an overall statement for this for me, and then you are writing a separate overall statement. What did I tell us? I said your overall statement is combined with your paraphrased question. I remember saying it over and over in this class. You have two information to give me in your overall statement. The first sentence is about the question prompt that you have been given. The bar graph reveals the rate of divorce in two countries, Finland and Sweden, expressed in percentage. Overall, there was a higher rate of marital separation in Sweden than in Finland. Full stop. That's all I want. But if you think you have enough words, enough vocabularies, you can go ahead and say maybe although, which is this? If that's it, that's just it. Because Sweden started as highest and ended as lowest. So although it fluctuated in between, but it still meant, but there's no need, there's really no need for that. I'm just saying that if it becomes extreme, this information is what you should give me in your overall statement. Overall statement, the graph, the map, the given diagram, all right, illustrates or reveals or presents or provides information on the rate of separation or marital dissolution in two countries. Overall, the rate was higher in Sweden than in Finland throughout the period. This thing is over the period of 5 years. So you either choose to tell me it is an information on divorce, marital separation, dissolution in two countries over the period of 5 years, or between the year 2011 and 2015. Don't tell me over a period of 5 years and then you put in brackets, I will cancel it if I'm an examiner. You need to be sure. Are you doing that because you want the examiner to choose? Are you giving me a choice? Okay, anyone will correct, no choice, choose them. Is that what you are telling your examiner? These are facts and figures. So why not confidently attack this question? Am I making sense to anyone here? Confidently attack the question, have a stand. Stand your ground and say, yes, this is a period of 5 years. Or it occurred between, or it happened between 2011 and 2015. Simple, full stop. So those are the mistakes that you people were making. Many of you made that mistake in your overall statement. And then in your vocabularies. I did show us before time the kind of vocabularies that is expected of us. Now, I told you, how do you get your vocabularies? How do we get vocabularies for this kind of a question? What do you do? Keywords. Underline keywords. Get synonyms for these underlined keywords. Get the kind of phrases, okay, that you can use for them. Divorce. One particular person used divorce throughout. There was no other word for divorce. Somebody used divorce and single parenting together. Abeg, tell me, What have divorce got to do with single parenting at this level? We're not talking about single parenting. That is how, when you bring up irrelevant information in your report, it cuts off your mark because the examiner sees you like you're unserious. All right? So you need to be focused on the task you are given. Don't step away from it. Even though divorce can lead to single parenting, of course, where kids are involved, but they have not asked you that question yet. They are not asking for the rate of the effect of divorce. Okay, all they are asking you is about divorce. So why not get synonyms for divorce instead of going to look for synonyms or getting vocabularies for the effects of divorce? Do we understand? Stick to the question that you are asked. If you do that, then you are most likely to score a band that you desire. Another thing is grammar. I know that we have a major challenge when it comes to grammar because of where we're coming from. But the fact that you did English in year 1 in nursing school, the fact that you are now communicating with your patients, the fact that you write reports with English language should have helped you to improve to some extent. I'm not talking about speaking here, because when we come to speaking, our mother tongue, our pronunciations, intonations, and all of that can come in and be a barrier. But I want you to know that these examiners know. They don't expect you to speak like them or like British or like somebody from US of A. No, nobody is expecting you to do that. But they are expecting you to know the right pronunciation of words, okay? Your diction. So I'm not talking about your diction in this sense. I'm talking about your writing, your spellings, and your punctuations. Where you're not supposed to have a comma, you are having a comma there. Where you are supposed to have a full stop and continue, you are putting comma there. Why? This thing we are doing is practice, so that by the time you go to the exam hall, you are giving them what exactly they want, and then they give you what you need. Because if you don't provide the right information, there's no way your examiner is going to give you a mark that you will be happy with. All right? So grammar. Your grammar includes your punctuations, it includes your spellings, and then it includes your sentence formation. Some of us cannot construct simple English, simple sentences that make sense grammatically. The people that made those mistakes and committed those errors, I have replied them inbox and I've explained somehow. I took my time a little bit to explain this is what you should do. But you know, you can't keep explaining to everybody like that. So yes, you need to improve on your grammar. You need to really improve on your grammar. Your spellings. I told us how to practice for the right spellings. When you download, I think you don't need to pay for Microsoft Word. There's the one you don't need to pay for is when you go to the advanced that you need to pay for. If you download Microsoft Word on your phone, it will help you to check spellings. Okay? And then if you go to the setting of your phone, you need to take you can click on UK English instead of USA, instead of maybe there's one other country. Just you click on UK English so that your phone, okay, will start spelling things the way they are spelled. You know, there is a difference between UK and the US, like behavior, favor, labor. You know all those spellings. One of them will accept LABOUR as labor. The other will just be BOR, neighbor. All those spellings, all those things. If you get that kind of, if you get that app on your phone, it will help you to correct your spellings. Okay, there are some spellings that I don't even know. There are some words that I didn't know that they are English words. But when I typed it on Google, I saw that they are English words, and then I had to start looking for the meaning. So you need to help yourself to improve. This is going to take your time, especially because many of us are working, okay? And your work, although I would say no matter how stressful it is, somehow you still have more time than some of us here if we want to tell ourselves the truth. Sometimes I go to work and I may not bring this phone from my pocket 12 hour shifts, except when I'm on break, and that should be maybe around 6 or 5, between 5 and 6 in the evening, and maybe around sometimes you're on break, you don't want to even bring the phone out because you don't know what to expect. You just want to eat your food and breathe, then go back to work. So you can imagine back home, you do, most of us, most hospitals, except for private hospitals and maybe anesthetists, the peri-op nurses and all that who are on call, you go to work and it's like 8 hour shifts. Most hospitals in Nigeria, except you are working in school or other settings. So I would just take that majority and say maybe you work 8 to 10 hour shifts. But in that 8 to 10 hour shift, you can sit down. If you are in the wards, most of the time you are sitting down. You are sitting down to do your writings. You're sitting down when it's not time for medication. You are sitting down when you are not doing wound dressing or all of those. But here, there are in some hospitals, the nurses stations, there are no chairs as such. There are no chairs, that you can't have the number of chairs that's equal to the number of nurses on duty, so everybody cannot be sitting down. But it's not a punishment. That is to tell you that you are not supposed to sit at the nursing station. There is always time. You can sit by the patient's bedside and talk with your patient. You can sit in the bay and do all of the writings. Sometimes I sit in the patient's bay on just platform there, sit down and do my write-ups. It's better. That way you keep an eye on your patient. So what I was saying before I diverted is the fact that to some extent, you have a bit of time for now. And if you plan your time very well, you will at least have 1-2 hours to study a day. I tell you the truth, if you dedicate 2 hours to study IELTS a day and you do this thing every day for 2 weeks, you yourself, you know that you'll be ready for the exam. That's the truth. If you doubt what I'm saying, try it and see. Dedicate 2 hours every day to IELTS, 2 hours every day to IELTS for 2 weeks. If you are not ready for this exam, then come back and ask me. You are not just sitting down and looking at the book, you are studying 2 hours a day, studying for 2 weeks. You'll be ready for the exam. So we need to be more serious. We need to be very, very serious with this exam. All right. I told us the vocabularies to use. I gave us the words to use. I showed us. I remember sharing my screen. I remember showing and telling us that when you are describing this particular thing, these are the words that you can use. These are the vocabularies I expect you to use. These are the phrases that you can use to describe, your particular task per time. And then many of us, our cohesion, there was no link between your work. Remember the band descriptors I told us about what? Grammar, grammatical range and accuracy. We talk about cohesion, coherence and cohesion. Then we have vocabulary, we have lexical resource, okay? And then task completion or task achievement or task response. Those 4 things. I'm making this correction, I'm doing this correction based on those 4 things so that you can know where exactly you're making a mistake. If there's no flow in your work, then you need to rethink. All right. Some of us have started so well. You have given a very good overall. Then when you get to your overview, when you are actually reporting your work, you are mixing it up. Please, I gave us an example of how to go about this. I did explain to us. I said that it is better for you to pick one of the variables, discuss it, then go to the second variable and discuss it. Because while you are doing that, you're already making a comparison, isn't it? You're already, you are reporting and you're comparing at the same time, which makes your work easier, faster, and clearer. That way, if you follow that process, your coherence and cohesion you will get a very good band for it, because there's a flow between your work. You are moving from one level to the other, and your examiner also can read it and understand it. So you need to improve on that. That's that for this task. Do we all remember the task? If I know some if you were not in this class when we did that task, you were not in this class and you have not done it, but I saw your work.
I wasn't in the class. Network didn't allow me to end the class with you the last time. So,
Yes,
but
but you did the
I
assignment.
saw it. Yes, I did the assignment.
Because I saw your work, I can, even if I don't remember names, don't, it's not my fault. It's, I don't remember names. I'm praying. No, I'm improving. I'm improving. Seriously, I'm improving. I'm beginning to recognize people now. So yes. I know if you were not in this class and you still want to write, if you didn't write and you still want to write, you still want to write this particular task. Okay, I'm sharing my screen with you now. Just take a screenshot. All right. Share screen. Take a screenshot. Ooh, how do I increase this thing? The other day I was able to increase it. How do I increase it today so that it can be bolder? You know? Is it bolder? I think it is. Have you taken a screenshot of it? Okay, I will also send it to the Telegram group. All right, I'll send it to the Telegram group again, although it's there already, but I can send it again so that you will be able to do it. Okay, so today we are stepping forward. We are moving a step further. Remember, we said that there are different question types that you will find in writing task 1. Writing task 1 is the one that expects you to write a report about a given diagram. The diagram can be a map, it can be a graph, it can be a line graph, a bar chart, it can be a pie chart, it may be a floor map. All right, there may be a process graph. There are about 6 or 7 of them. And gradually we are solving them gradually. Today we will be talking about map. We're talking about map. All right. In your description of a map, you are expected to use the compass. You can describe a map by location. Yeah, you describe a map by the location, or yeah, it's still location. Describe where it is located and all, whether it is top, bottom, and all. So today we are talking about maps for now. When you get a map, how do you solve it? When you get a map, how do you solve it? On every map that you see, if you see a map question in the exam hall, it can be a map of an area, maybe a proposed site for something. It can be a map of a building, a map of maybe the location of market, or you may see a map that is telling you the development that has occurred over a period of time in a particular place. In that kind of a map, you can have 2 maps in one. All right, so it means that it can be double and it can be single map. Okay, so when you have a single map, the description is different from when you have a double map. So if you are describing, it may be a map of a building, it may be a map of a place, it may be a map of what else? Any kind of map at all. But whatever map you have, they are expecting you to give certain descriptions. And in this description, you are expected to use certain phrases and certain words. When you are describing a map by location, when you are describing a map, how are you expected to describe the map? By location or by the variables that are in it? So usually when you have this kind of question, you have something on it that will show you that, like, a compass will always be there. If they provide you a compass, then you should know that you are expected to use the words north, south, east, and west. So if you are describing anything, you need to describe them by where they are located. All right, either it is in the north, in the south, in the east, or in the west. Is it in the northeast? Is it in the southwest? All right, or is it in the southeast, or is it in the north? You need to know exactly how and why, and where they are located. Now, if you are describing a map and you are describing a change that has occurred over a period of time, what do? You are describing a change that has occurred over a period of time. How do you describe it? Maybe in a building. Let's take the one in a building, for example. When changes has occurred in a building, how do we say them? Maybe they have removed a particular building. You can say it was demolished. You can say it was knocked down, okay, if they took it out of place. If they removed it and maybe built something else on it, you can say it was flattened, all right? It was replaced with, maybe you have two maps, for instance, and in a particular place, something that was there before is no longer there. It's now on another side, or something else has replaced it. It was replaced with. So you pick that particular variable and you say it was replaced with something else. If there was a change, okay, like a total renewal, a reface of that thing, if they gave it a facelift, you can say maybe it was renovated. If something else had come up, they erected a structure that was not in the other one before, then you say it has been what? Built. What's like constructed, developed, all right? Maybe something that was small before is now bigger, it has been extended. Okay, if something that was there at one point before, maybe located in the north before, was moved to the south, it has been what? Relocated. If there was a particular building that was used for a library before and is now used for a museum, what do you say about that building? It has been converted into. If there was something that was there and maybe it is now old, yeah, if it's now old, it was old and then they had to like change, it has been modernized. So it depends on what you have been asked to do. You need to know the words to use. You need to know how to describe this so that you won't make mistakes in your report. To this end, let me see. I will share my screen, all right? And then we will do this task. I will share my screen and we will do this task together. Share screen. You've seen it indicate. Can you see it now? Can you all see my screen here? This is a writing task 1, and it is a map question. He said you should spend about 20 minutes on this task. Below is a map of a city, the city of Brantfield. City planners have decided to build a new shopping mall for the area, and 2 sites, site 1 and site 2, have been proposed. Okay? Summarize the information by selecting and reporting the main features and make comparisons where relevant. Write at least. Oh, that reminds me. That was a major correction I would have omitted. Please, at least 150 words. Somebody wrote 153 words, and I was not happy with it because there are some of your words that you have made, made mistakes in the spelling. So by the time I take those words out, what happens? What do you think will happen? You are short of words, isn't it? So the highest, the least, in fact, I want you to write up to 160, 170. Maybe I told us. I said you can write up to 170. If you are very correct, if you know that your work is okay and all, and it's even up to 180, it's fine. Maximum. Highest, maximum, highest. 180. If you're writing right, if it's writing tax 2, also 280 is fine. Maximum. You know, the list for writing tax 2 is 250, right? So if you have 30 words over, it's fine. But please don't stop at 150 or 155. Or it's for your own good. It's not like the examiners will mark you down and say, no, they won't. It's for your own good so that you'll be on the safe side. Okay? All right. So, and then some of us wrote up to 196 words. I saw somebody with 196 words. Man, that's too much. And then you commit errors in too much words. You know, in a multitude of words, sin is not lacking. In a multitude of too much writing, errors are present. So you need to be very, very careful. Your word count, you need to be very careful. I advise you that when you write using that app, like Microsoft Word that I said, it will count the number of words for you. That way you get accurate, you know, and then by the time you practice these things over and over again, there's a way you get used to the format and you won't write beyond or below. Okay, so this afternoon, remember, going by the structure of the writing task 1, we have 3 paragraphs all in all. Some of you have 4 paragraphs because somebody has 5. Because you are separating your overall statement from your paraphrased question. If you separate the overall statement from your paraphrased question, you will have more than 4 or up to 4. 4 paragraphs is a structure for writing task 2. Please obey these rules so that you pass your exam once. And at the end of the day, you will be glad you did. All right. So this afternoon, remember, your paragraphs should be 3, just 3 paragraphs. In this question, what is expected of you? There are 2 sites that are proposed here. You are going to summarize the information in this map for me. Report after selecting the main features, and then make comparisons where necessary, where relevant. You can see there's a compass. You see my cursor? See my mouse here? There's a compass for you. This is north, south, east, and west. So you are going to be describing, draw an invisible line. Okay? Draw an invisible line in this map, like this. Cross, Jesus cross, dividing it into 4 equal parts. Okay? So that you will know what is on the north, on the northern part. What can we see in the south? What are we seeing in the west, and what is in the east? You need to know where is what so that you can describe it like you showed. Use the compass. Use the compass. In using the compass, you can still use these words: top, bottom, right. This is my own right, and left. You can use bottom, top, right, and left. You can use top right, top left. This is top right, this is top left. This is bottom left, and this is bottom right. Or I'm giving you the vocabularies that you can use now so that you will not come and be telling me under. You will not come and use the wrong words, and at the end of the day, you reduce your mark, okay? Or near. No, you can use next to. Words like next to. Words like below. All right? I'm giving you what word to use in describing this your map. So we have an invisible line. You draw it this way down, and then you draw across. Remember the keys. Use these keys. This key is talking about golf course and the park. Housing estate is here, up here. I see the city center and it's in the middle. You can use that word middle. I see the industrial estate. What side is this? If it depends on how you draw where the map is facing, it can be on the southeast. And if your own is facing, I don't know, how do I describe it? Just describe it the way it's facing you, because it's facing me differently, okay? Then we have the river. This river is running across from the north, all across, down. Then we have road. The road is on this side, and we have railway that also run across from one side to the top of the other side. Okay, so now this afternoon, you are going to describe to me the things that are near or far from or whatever, site 1, and then site 2. This is site 1. This site 1 here, is it bigger than site 2? Is site 2 smaller than site 1? Is it closer? Which one is closer to the city center? What are the features that you can see around it? Site 2 I can see is nearer the industrial estate, while site 1 is closer to the housing estate. And we are talking about what? We are talking about a shopping mall. A shopping mall. So they are telling us to draw a conclusion, to report, and then to make comparisons. All right? You need to use all of these markers. Use all of the keys here for your description. Is anybody confused about how to describe this? Is anyone confused about how to describe this?
Ma'am, please, it's
Not seeing all
not.
your faces because I'm sharing my screen. Yes, please go ahead, ask your question.
Ma'am, please, how did you state? How can one state the introduction now?
Okay, give me an introduction, how you want to state it, and if it's wrong, I'll correct you.
Okay. Um,
I'm waiting for you, Lucy.
Please, I don't know how to state it though. I'm still confused.
You must know. Compulsory, you must know. So your introduction, your overall statement is a paraphrase of this question prompt and what you can see overall. I've given you an overall statement. I already gave an overall statement. When I said that site 1 is closer to where? Housing estate. Site 2 is closer to what? Industrial estate. So did I not mention that? Site 1 is located where? Where is this site 1? Somebody tell me this location. North, south, east, west. Where is it located?
Not.
It's around the north central, isn't it? Why site 2 is at one corner? What corner is it?
Southeast.
Thank you. Because, yeah, this is south, this is east. Is it facing us the same? It may be facing us the same though, I don't know. But yeah. So if this is on the southeast and this is like the north central, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. This is closer to where? South site one is closer to where? Look at the keys
You
now and tell me what can you see here? This thing that is close to site one
river,
and this thing is close to site two. Site one is even covered
housing,
roundabout by, you can see the river,
housing estate.
okay? Around it also is what? The road that cuts across and it's closer to the housing estate. Why this is closer to where now? Industrial
Good
estate,
afternoon,
and
ma.
it's more to the riverside. So if you have a shopping mall around where people live, okay, and a shopping mall around where people walk, which one do you think is better? It's not everybody that goes to this place, but everybody has a house and they all go to the house. So this is closer, this is better to me. That's the way I see it. Although that's not part of your question, but it can be, it's near the city center as well. It's near the city center. So site one is in the middle of where? The housing estate, the city center, and then the river is passing by it, by the eastern part. If you divide this site one again into your north, south, east, and west, there's a river that cuts across from the northern part all through the east down. Then we have, there is a road again as well here. So overall, site one is surrounded by what and what and what, while site two is where? It's close to what? That will be your overall statement. Then in your introduction, what I call your overall, the paraphrase of the question, you go to this question prompt, you underline your keywords, and then you get synonyms for your keywords. Below is a map of the city of Brantfield. We cannot change the city of Brantfield, but we can change the city, or we can say the town, or we can say Brantfield town. Are you getting it? Then city planners, town planners, town evaluators, okay? The engineers, city engineers, okay? Who are the people that has to do with building? Which engineer? Is it not? It's civil engineers, Abi? Yeah, the constructors. You can say the constructors, isn't it? They have decided to build a new, so they have decided to erect, they thought it worthwhile to erect a new supermarket, a new what? Shopping mall. What else? What other word can we use for shopping mall? For the people or for this area? And they have proposed two sites, 1 and 2. Overall, site 1 is surrounded by what? On one side, there's a river. On this side is this. On this side is this. While site 1, that's by one description. By another description, site 1 is bigger, is larger than site 2, isn't it? Can you see the space? See the space for site 1. Here, see the space for site 2. Which one is bigger? So site 1 is more spacious than site 2. Overall, that's an overall statement. So I can say that site 1 is closer, is bigger than site 2, at the same time closer to the housing estate, while site 2 is smaller than site 1 and nearer to where? The industrial estate. I've written an overall statement. Please don't give me word for word what is here. Do you understand? Now, in your overview, pick site 1 and describe site 1 for me. If you are describing site 1 for me, tell me what is located near site. Where is site 1 located? What are the things that are close to it? How are they close to it? Is it on the right, on the left, top or bottom? Is it in the east, in the north, in the south, or in the west? Okay, go to site 2. Describe it for me. What is the size of site 2? Where is it located? And what are the things that are close to it? And what are the things that are far from it? Are we ready? Have you all taken a snapshot, or you want me to leave it on like this? I should leave it on, right? All right, get on your writing pad and start writing. This is 4:55, 53 by my time. And you have 20 minutes. Because I have already described everything, I'm going to give you, let's see, so does anyone have any question about this? Ask your question in 1 minute. If you have any question, if you are confused with this description, ask the question now before we start writing. Linda, any question?
Sorry, Mom. Good evening.
No, ma. Good evening, ma. Oh, no, there's no question now.
Good, thank you.
Hello, hear me?
Yes, ask your question, please.
I want to know if we are also going to write the introduction.
Sorry?
Or we should just start with the description of site 1 and site 2.
In writing task 1, there is what the introduction is called an overall
if
statement.
we are also going to.
If you are going to do what then?
Okay.
You are going to write an.
No, I'm asking if, because you just described it now. I don't know if we are going to include it or just description of the site 1 and
yes,
site 2.
This is a complete task. I want you to write me the 3 paragraphs that are involved or that are expected in writing task 1. You are giving me the overall statement, which is more like an introduction. And this overall statement is made up of your overall, what you can see overall, and the question prompt. That's what will give you an introduction. And then your overview. The overview is a report of this map, and it should come in 2 paragraphs. In first paragraph, describe site 1, and in the second paragraph, describe site 2. That way you will have 3 paragraphs giving you the structure for the writing task 1. Remember that there are specific things that you must consider. You are describing this by location. All right. So now that you are describing, make use of your compass and make use of the keys that you have been given. Do you understand now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so when it is 5:04, when it is 5:04, you are going to stop. Write it and make sure you type it to everyone. You are typing it to everyone, not to me. All right? I'm here.
Mom, please, can you um bring it up a bit? Hello?
What do you want?
Hello?
I can hear you.
Mom, can you move it up a bit? Can you move it up a bit? Can you move the diagram up a bit, please? Hello?
I can hear you.
No, no, no.
Is it okay? Is it okay now?
Zooming it, not zooming it out, just zoom it in, then
Is it too much for you to see? Because
just
it's
a
a
little
picture.
bit.
It's a picture.
So
So
you
if
can
I
just,
move up, another picture will show.
I'm seeing it, what I'm saying, the problem is that I'm not seeing the complete diagram. I'm seeing just from the
I think you can do that with your phone.
city center.
Can you not do it with your phone? Let me send it to you.
Not share using my laptop.
Let me see. I've sent it to you. Please write the complete thing and send, okay? Complete it, then send it.
Please, ma, I have a challenge over here.
Yes, please, go ahead. Ask.
How I have problem of accessing the diagram while tapping.
You have problem of what?
Accessing the question, the map, while typing my work.
I told you to take a screen grab, isn't it?
Yes, I did.
No, you didn't.
I screenshotted it.
Yeah.
Please help out.
You took a
I
screenshot.
thought I did.
Yeah. You took a screenshot, yeah?
Yes, I did.
So which diagram do you want to access now? Is it the one on your phone that you cannot access or the one here that you cannot access?
Sorry, ma, is it that I will go back to the what I screenshotted and be using it to type? I thought I will type directly on the chat.
You can type directly on the chat. You can write it down first of all in your book, which is what most people do. And then they type 5 minutes and you are done typing, isn't it?
Okay.
Hmm?
So
If I'm writing it,
the map is
I'll
not
write in my book first of all, I'll jot my points down in my book when I start typing.
okay. So the diagram is no longer on the screen.
The diagram is no longer on this screen. If you want me to bring up the diagram to the screen, tell me to bring up the diagram to the screen and I'll bring it to the screen.
Please, ma, please bring it up again. Let me write down and
I'm sharing it now, yeah?
okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Please. Yeah.
They actually meant to stop at 5:16, and this is 5:13. We'll stop at 5:20 on the dot, please. Class. Okay. Okay. Here we are. Time up. Who has not finished? Now let's read the task. Let's read all the tasks that we have. It's just a few of you that sent it in. What happened to the rest? I don't understand. Is it that we don't understand the question or what? Can you hear me? Yes, you can hear me, right? If you can hear me, let me see your hand. Can we hear me?
Yes, ma.
You can hear me. Okay, that's good.
Yes, ma'am, I can hear you.
Okay, that's good. You can hear me. Linda, can you hear me? Linda, can you hear me? All right. Is there anybody who does not understand what I asked? Only one person wrote the correct thing. I don't understand. Do you think that is just introduction that we are saying you should take 20 minutes for? Is it introduction only that you will write? Who does not understand this class? If you don't understand, ask question now. Who does not understand what I asked you to do? How comes there's only one person that wrote the correct thing? Why? Okay, so the map shows two sites as proposed by a town planner for a supermarket in Brownfield City. Overall, it is evident that the first phase proposed for construction of the supermarket is situated in the northeastern part of the city. Is larger than the second considered site, which is in the southeastern part of the city. The map shows two sites proposed by a town planner for a supermarket. So why are you sending one thing two times? You send the same thing two times, and it's just an overall statement that you wrote. You didn't send any other thing in again. Blessing. Where is she? Blessing. Blessing, what happened to the rest part of your work? Is this question difficult? Tell me, is it a difficult question? Hmm? Is it a difficult question? So the map illustrates two plans, possible sites. Okay, two plans for possible sites for a shopping mall in the city of Brownfield, isn't it? Overall, we can see that the two sites under consideration, one of them is in the north and the other one is in the southeast of the town. The first possible site, if I'm going to describe it, I'll say site one, all right, is just at the north of the city center, above the rail line. Can you see it? And what happens? It runs from the south. Me, I'm seeing the diagram here. It runs from the southeast of the city to the northeast. So it's like this. If you can see the way it is, the map of that site of the site one. Okay. So if it is built, it's going to be what? It's larger. It's larger. That site is larger. It is close to the housing estate, and so people can easily access it. All right. And then it's in the city. It's also very close to the city center. In fact, it's in the middle, almost in the middle, in the north central. So it will be next to the river as well, that I tried to explain to us, and it runs through the town. That river that runs through the town is next to it. If you ask me to talk about the second site, which is site 2 or site B, the site is in the southeast, all right, and it's just by the rail line and fairly close to the city center. Fairly, it's not very close to the city center, but it is near to an industrial estate and far away from where? From housing. So we saw the rail on there, okay? We saw the rail on there. this thing that I just explained, and which I also explained from the beginning, is it difficult? Or is it that you're finding it difficult to understand my explanation? Because what I'm seeing is not too close to what I expected. All right? What I'm seeing is not too close to what I expected. The map shows two sites as proposed by a town planner. It's not a town planner, please. It should be town planners. They didn't say it's one person. We need to be careful. We need to be careful. As it is shown, as shown by the town planners, they have proposed two sites. One of the sites, overall, you can see that site 1 is bigger than site 2, and site 1 is located in the north, while site 2 is in the southeast. Blessing, you started off very well with your overall statement. I don't know what happened to the rest of your work. I don't know why I can't see the rest of your work. And I didn't say we should write only the overall statement and stop. From the time that you wrote your overall statement, if you had continued, I'm sure, before the end of the time that was given, you would have finished writing your overview. Now, you went ahead to write an overview. Okay, let's see. The given map provides information about the erection, please. Okay, of a new supermarket in Brantfield town by the cities. After your Y, there should be an apostrophe, then an S. It is the city's civil engineers. See the grammar that I'm talking about now. There's a bit of issue with your grammar here. You need to watch what you write. City civil engineers and have proposed two sites. How? You already said, oh dear. Why not the map shows two sites as proposed? Why not bring the two sites before your other statements so that it can make more sense? Because and have it's grammatically wrong, okay? Overall, site 1 is bigger, comma, more spacious and closer to the housing estate. Yeah, closer to the housing estate and located around the North Central, not just around the North Central. Because you are telling me about the location now. While site 2 is smaller, you see, and you have used the right word here, then located in the southeast, nearer to or close to the industrial estate, full stop. If you make that correction, you will have a great overall statement here. The map illustrates the town of Brantfield, and the builders have decided to construct new malls. We have a bit of issue with putting down our information. The map illustrates the town of Brantfield and two sites proposed for malls by the builders. Overall, site 1 is this. Okay, so overall, the map consists of, why are you doing this? It's wrong, my dear, it's wrong. You just need to follow the pattern, okay? Calm down, try to follow the pattern that I'm explaining. Overall is what you can see at a glance. And in the process of me trying to explain, I gave you a clue of, excuse me, I gave you a clue of what you can have, the likely things that you can have in your overall statement. I want you to do this as an assignment. Follow. Is it that you don't understand the class or you just want to do your own in a uniquely different way? If you are doing it in a different way, it's fine. And as long as you are correct, I'm fine with it. Okay? If not, why not just follow the pattern that we're using in the class and then write what you are expected to write, get your band and go away. Now, you too, look at this write-up that you have done. Read your write-up. Okay, everybody read your write-up and see. Is what you have written grammatically right? Is it correct? The map consists of, the map illustrates the town. There is repetition of information here. As much as possible, avoid repetition. I told us that we can use synonyms. Okay, the first thing you do when you see your question is to identify your keywords and then get synonyms for your paraphrasing. So what is the synonyms that we can use to talk about map? What happens to diagram? If you say picture self is still correct. Okay, the given diagram is an illustration of the town of Brantfield and two proposed sites by the builders, by the civil engineers. Overall, site A is, tell me what you can see. Are you seeing the size that is bigger or smaller? Is that what you see? Site A, is it that you see that it's closer to housing? Okay, is it in the north? Is it in the south? Is it in the east? Where is site A? If you're talking about its location or its size, if that's what you want to use for your judgment or for your writing. Does it make sense to anyone? I don't want you to like be confused. I told us about the fact that we need to learn with an open mind. If you are too rigid, that's what I've noted with learning generally. If you are too rigid, you may not have an open mind to accommodate the information that you're getting. And if you cannot accommodate and assimilate this information, you can't process it to make sense to you or to anyone else. First of all, you need to accommodate this information. You need to accept it, then assimilate it. That way you can give it out. All right. So I said that you should look at this map and see what can you see at a glance on this map. Me, I can see on this map that the city, okay, there's what is it called? There's a compass here that I told us to use: north, south, east, and west. If you have divided this thing into 4, you will know where what is. You need to go and learn. If you don't know your compass, please learn the compass very well if you want to know how to write on map, because it will help you, okay? And use the words appropriately. Before you wrote this, I gave you an example of what is expected. I already did the task with you, isn't it? You were just to put it down. So putting it down now, you needed to understand the information I gave you. That way you can reproduce what I gave you using your own words. And that's exactly what the IELTS exam is about. Your ability to interpret this diagram using your own words. You are writing a report on this diagram. What can you see in this diagram? I can see that the diagram illustrates the plans for 2 possible sites for a shopping mall in the city of Brantfield. It can be seen that these 2 sites under consideration, one of them, all right, is on the north and the other is on the southeast. So overall, site A or site 1 is located in the north and bigger than site 2. While site 2 is located, or site B is located in the southeast, smaller than site 1. Now, I told you to pick one. So I pick site 1. I pick site 1 to discuss. And from this diagram that is before me, I can see that site 1, the river runs through site 1. First of all, it is located in the north. Okay, the river runs through it by the side. And then the city center is next to it. Across it, I can also see that there's a railway that ran across it, right? And it is very, very close to where? To the housing estate as well. Come, do we even understand this whole map? Let me share it again. Can you all see this map? Can you see this map? Can you see, this is site 1. Site 1, the whole of, follow this thing, the whole of this place like this is site 1, isn't it? Is it not bigger than the whole of this place? Is it not bigger? Huh?
It is.
It
It's
is,
bigger.
ma.
Yes,
It's
ma'am.
bigger.
Okay. So your overall statement must state this because this is a very good variable for you to use. Now, site 1 is bigger than site 2. Look at it this way. Running across site 1 is this river that runs, that is like almost dividing it into 2, isn't it? Then the road, see the road goes round it, almost round it on the other side. All right. We have the railway also. The railway cut across the middle of site 1, all the way down to the south. If you have a good look, site 1 is nearer to the housing estate. See, it has the city center in it. Can you see? The city center is inside it. So it is very, very, very closer to where people live than where people work. Site 2, on the other hand, Chiamaka, you keep unmuting yourself. When you unmute yourself and you talk, please put it off. I'm talking about Lucy, because I have more than one Chiamaka here. So you can see that I don't know, it's easier for me to identify these things. I don't know what's difficult in identifying. Is it that difficult? Is map that difficult to you? I just want you to identify what you can see from this diagram. Just identify it. Look at the things around. This is the site 1. This is site 2. What are what variables? What can you see? What items? Okay. What things are close to it or far from it? And then when you describe one, you go to the other and describe. That way, you get a good coherence. There's a flow between your work. You started from site 1. Now you are going to site 2, and then you conclude on site 2 there. So on the one hand, site 1 is bigger in the city center, located in the north, nearer to housing estates, okay? And then has the railway running across it, down all the way to the south. While site 2 is smaller, okay? Site 2 is smaller, closer to the city, to industrial estate, and then the railway also cuts across it, and then the road. So what is the problem with identifying and describing this thing? What exactly is the problem? Tell me where your problem is. Linda. Linda. She's not here anymore. Is she? Can't see her. Okay? Who has any issues with describing this thing? Stephanie, I didn't see any write-up from you. Why are you bending your head? Eh? Do you understand the explanation at all? You do, yeah? Okay, that's fine. Who else? Omolola, I need you
Yes,
to
ma.
correct your grammar. I need you to correct your grammar, all right?
Yes,
Make sure
ma.
you're not writing too much English. Just get me the points, then put some cohesive devices in between them, and make some complex sentences and send it, okay?
Yes, ma. Thank you, ma.
You're welcome. Let me see what's this person. Okay, the we have a golf course. We don't have a gold course there. Be careful with your words as well. Your spellings. They will reduce your marks if you spell wrongly. All right. And remember, there are some words that when you miss a letter and you put another letter instead, it will be something else. It will mean something else. And then to change the entire meaning of your whole write-up. The map shows two sites in the city of Bramfield where the urbanists thought of constructing a modern hall. A modern hall would be better. Lucy, watch your grammar. It can be seen that site 1 is spacious and as well. It can as well as. Don't use and as well as. Okay? And as well. No, you use one of them. It's spacious, it's more spacious and closer. Okay? Or it is spacious as well as closer to. Please, you need to choose which word to use, which of these connective devices you want to use, so that you don't go and speak tautology and then the English will not make sense anymore. As well as closer to the housing estate, whereas site 2 is smaller and nearer to the industrial estate. Make your correction. I'm reading it like that, but that's not what you wrote. The map shows the town of Bramfield City. Town of Bramfield. City engineers have concluded to erect. The city engineers have concluded to erect a new shopping center for the area. The proposed site is either site 1 or site 2. Wow. You have written too many simple sentences. If you put some things in between them, you will now have a complex sentence, which is what I advise you. Yes, the things you have written, they are correct, but they are too simple and too short. So you need to link them together. All right? The map shows the city of Bramfield or the town of Bramfield. The engineers have decided, they have not concluded though, they have proposed, they have proposed 2 different sites, all right, for the erection of what? A new city, a new shopping center. Overall, site 1 is bigger than site 2 and it is at the north central of the city, while site 2 is smaller and located to the north. You see, the B part is okay. I can accept the B part, but I will not, your A part is unacceptable. You need to make that correction. You hear? Correct it and then rewrite it again. The northern part consists of the housing estate, which is situated. I keep saying, she's not here. Okay. The diagram depicts the plan of the town constructor of the city of Bramfield, on the various sites for building of shopping plaza of the area with site 1 and site 2 has been suggested. You too, look at this. It doesn't make sense, isn't it? Please, you will keep trying. As long as you have the idea, you know what is expected of you, you will keep writing until you come out with good grammar. You will keep writing it. There's no giving up, there's no getting tired, there's no, you must get it. If you don't get it, then you will write and write and write. Me, I feel it when people write IELTS twice, right? And it's money, isn't it? Then the psychological effect as well, that you're beginning to feel like you're a failure or something. Meanwhile, it's just simple instructions that you need to put in place, just some touches and all of that. You may have the idea, but you need to know the steps. You need to know what to write and what not to write and how to write. Okay. The map shows the description of Brandfield town. Architects finally wants to construct, and they have decided on 2 sites, which is site 1. If they have decided on 2 sites, you don't need to mention which is again. All right. Overall, site 1 is located at the northern part of this town, while site 2 is seen at the southeast. Why not leave the part of the river running through or across to your explanation, to when you get to your body paragraphs, to where you are writing the overviews? Why not leave that part so that you can have more points, all right, in your overview to write about site 1 or site 2? Yeah. Yes. In fact, actually, we just tackled this task. I've done the correction. I want to see how well you are going to put the correction into action. So you will write the same task and send it to oversee nurses IELTS@gmail.com. oversee nurses IELTS@gmail.com. If you send it to oversee nurses@gmail.com, I will not vet it. We need to learn to obey instructions. Send it to oversee nurses IELTS@gmail.com. 4 p.m. on Thursday is the final time for submission. If you don't submit it between now and 4 p.m. on Thursday, I will not vet it. Oversee nurses IELTS@gmail.com, and I will vet it. 4 p.m. If you submit it 4:01, I will not vet it. Do you understand? If you have been watching us on YouTube, I'm sorry I was not able to come on there today. That's because I couldn't juggle in between. So I saw some of your questions. I think the major challenge we have is the fact that we don't obey instructions. When you come into the Telegram group, there's a pinned message. You click on it. That message is going to show you how to join the Zoom class. The message, there's a video in it to guide you what to click, what to do, how to register. If you have done that, you don't need a password to join the Zoom class. As soon as we come on, it will tell you. If you are watching us on YouTube, I'd like you to subscribe so that when any video comes on or when the class starts, you get a notification. Click on the notification button, on the bell button, so you can be notified. Subscribe to the channel so you get notices and you are aware of what is happening on the channel. Our assignments are sent to oversee nurses IELTS@gmail.com, not oversee nurses@gmail.com. Send your work to oversee nurses IELTS@gmail.com. You can see how difficult it is to vet one work. So please, in as much as I encourage you to keep practicing, don't send me every practice you do on your own for me to vet. I don't have that time. Let's not take things for granted. When I give you work, an assignment to a task in class, I have taught it, I have explained it, so I'm expecting a pattern. I'm expecting you that you would have understood what we have learned, okay, and then you are able to write. When you go to the internet or to other classes and you have questions that you have attempted, those questions you are attempting should make you to participate more in this class and should make you understand more, not for you to send every work you do to me for me to vet. It's going to be cumbersome and I won't be able to attend to it. So except me and you have agreed and I gave you something to do and ask you to send it so that I can vet, please don't send me works that I didn't ask you to do. That is that about assignments. If you are watching on YouTube and you want to join our Zoom class, please do the needful. We have sent these links on even the videos on YouTube. Some of the videos, when you click them, you will find the links, they are there. But I can guarantee you that once you are in the Telegram group, go on to the pinned message, click on it, follow the instruction, register. You need to register. If you don't register, you will need password, and we don't give password because we expect you to register. So register for the class and then you will be able to join the class once it is on. You have access to all of the previous classes on YouTube. Please go there. If you have difficulty with any of them, maybe you are finding it difficult to answer task 1 question, go to the teaching on task 1. Go through it. You will find solution there and it will give you a better understanding of what it is. Do we have any question in this class? No question. Please do your assignment. Send it between now and 4 o'clock on Thursday evening, and then you can have your feedback. If you do it now, I'll vet it as soon as I see it. Not like now. If you do it, I'll keep vetting them until that day. And if, for instance, I vet your work and I pointed out some corrections and maybe asked you to write again, please still write it before that given time so that we can have time for other things to come. If there's no other question, I'll say, okay, you can go home and rest, all right? Rest a little bit, study, be very flexible with your studying. Don't be too rigid. Allow your brain to think, all right? And above all, pray. So that as you practice, you will understand what we are doing. Because if you don't understand, it's a futile exercise. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.